You know, I've been with Sig for a super long time, for like 10 years, and I've had their support that whole time. But in the new role, being on the team, where shooting, you know, being a professional shooter, in quotes and otherwise, it is a slightly different mentality where I'm not doing as much other stuff. There's not as many distractions. With their support this year, I was able to shove aside a lot of other work that I was previously committed to that took up a lot of my time, and really focus on getting ready for this match as much as I possibly can. And with their support, with the support of some of the people on the team, and just all the friends and mentors I've made through the company, I feel better poised to do well this time around than ever before. I mean, I feel as Dan Horner has said in the past, the difference between a professional and an amateur is consistency, and treating this like it is a full-time job to be ready to compete is made a huge difference. So day 2 now. Got an okay day yesterday. Had some stages that I felt really good. A couple disasters, to be honest. So on the whole, kind of a medium day. Definitely a few points down from where I'd like to be in relation to the pack. Coming into today, I mean, definitely the stages in this section are quite a bit harder. The shots are stretched out a lot more. So trying to just stay patient and basically put the holes where they're meant to go, and just kind of see what happens from there. Definitely there's a few stages out here in this section as well. I'm going to try to get the gas down a little bit and pick up a little bit of time, since that's where I've historically been stronger through the year. But just sticking it out for now.
Are you ready? Stand by.
Is shooting very good. It's hard to say how he's stacking up because they've shot different sections, so we're gonna have to see how that plays out. Nils seems to be shooting very good too. Sal pretty good, but Mason's, I would say, is sitting top 3. It's just how is it going to shake out between him, Jeremy, and Nils.
Are you ready?
I would say he's a little bit frustrated. The big thing is he had, I don't know what it was, he's probably not going to tell you this, but he had like the flu the whole last week prior to this match, so he didn't get to train as he normally does. Not that that necessarily means that he should not perform the way he should, but it didn't mean the normal training that he normally does. He didn't train normally, so I think that he's a little bit frustrated because that's not necessarily something that he could change. And I don't think there was a major hard skills issue. So overall, he needs to get back out there, train some more, feel confident, and get back to it. But I think it'd be okay.
Well, I mean, I'm definitely not happy about the match result. I was on a streak. I hadn't lost a major match this year coming into this match. And I won the American Production Nationals at this same range about 2 months ago. So definitely was looking to come defend that and, sort of set the tone for the World Shoot. But at the end of the day, some things came up right before the match, so the preparation was not exactly what I wanted, and was not able to draw the confidence from that I was able to at the previous matches. And realistically, with that considered, I got out of this match when I put into it. Looking forward to being able to do that part correctly going into World Shoot. We're going to get a different result. This is September 3rd, I believe. So we're leaving in 13 days, if I remember correctly. That might not be correct. We're leaving in roughly 10 to 15 days at this point. I mean, I realized it was something I was super passionate about really early, and I was always good about, in my opinion, setting goals that were achievable but out of reach, right? Like, so I realized that it was feasible or possible to make it into a career when I met my wife, because she was self-employed. Her family had owned a series of businesses, and I was just owning your own business or taking a risk like that was completely out of my radar. Where my family was more involved in public service, and they valued stability in a career over risk taking and the possibility of gain. And so, meeting more folks like that, I realized that it was even possible. And I realized it was a likely proposition when I was able to make some success and sort of make my own way through teaching and continuing to be involved with SIG and doing well competing. But there wasn't a watershed moment where I accomplished anything specific in a competition environment when I realized it was possible. It was just a series of life events that all led me to here. Very early on, I attracted the attention of folks here at the Sig Sauer Academy, and they wanted to help me out. So I was shooting a P320 when it launched in 2014, within a year of starting shooting. Right now I have them set up to shoot production, so using iron sights. It's a P320 X5 Legion, which I haven't changed a whole lot on it. Essentially put a wider front sight on it to tighten up the sight picture a little bit. I have the Gray Guns hybrid shoe competition kit in there, which lightens up, crisps up the trigger a little bit, and lets you adjust the over travel. Slap some grip tape on there that I got off of Amazon, and that's about it. Respring it with a new recoil spring, and that's all she wrote. It would be a short reach for me to pick a gun out of a box, down here in the show floor, and use that compared to what I'm using, that I've modified. The trigger work helps tremendously, definitely. But the guns are relatively plain, so to speak. Started going good, so I got cocky and pitched one over the top of the plate. Getting the plate a lot better that time.
Yeah, that's true. That first target, I'm like all around the A zone though.
I was having a hard time with that too.
Yeah.
Building on the failures of the last one, I'm gonna try to do the first one super responsible mode. And if it goes well, I'll just keep doing that. But if it doesn't go well, I'll try to fix some variables. Okay, so paper engagement was much better, more disciplined with the pauses on I'll just put one over the top of the plate. So I'm gonna try to do that same thing over again. Yeah. Okay. Fundamentals time.
I'm gonna do it right. Shut on Steve. Okay. So it's mainly vision on this drill. So it's a kind of complex thing. So one, you're doing a more complicated setup, kind of hitting the steel repeatedly. But it's also the aspect of just pushing your vision around to the right spot, and then having the correct, you're gonna have a confirmation that's gonna be more so like a very still red dot on that steel, and making sure you're actually calling the shot versus the paper you can go a little crazier on. I'm kind of having trouble just kind of not giving anything the confirmation it deserves right now. So I'm not necessarily waiting on the steel, and I'm not necessarily waiting to actually get my dot anywhere close to the center of the paper right now. So I'm just trying to make myself do the right thing right now.
True that.
True that. I'm like yanking the trigger a little bit on the, like my strong hand's just getting super involved. Yeah, I knocked one over there.
It's fundamentals time.
I'm getting the steel now, but it's
fundamentals time. Don't react, don't predict, just anticipate. A lot of the times, like we mentioned the vision component, conventional, or not conventional, but what's the word I'm looking for? Contemporary practical shooting training. A lot of people talk about shooting predictively, where you shoot very fast, you just make it sound a certain way and the shots land in a group. The opposite end of the spectrum be reacting, where you get everything perfect and then react to seeing something specific. I always say something in the middle is more like anticipating, where I just try to move my vision fast, anticipate when the sight's gonna be there, and in a way it's like reacting to what you're gonna see, but you're not waiting to consciously confirm every single shot. And for high variability, low repetition drills like this, like we're talking about, getting ready to see something once or twice and execute, that's the mentality that's usually more productive, I've found, personally. Yeah, like if I could have done that on the first rep, I wouldn't have done all that fundamental stuff. I would have just kept doing the fun stuff. See if we can clean that up, keep this thing tender. Nope, not this time. It's not uncommon. I feel like every time I find myself focusing on my grip or on physical fundamentals while I'm doing something that's more involved like this, it's always like, yeah, you can make that part go right. You can make your grip go right, but everything else is gonna get left a chance. Let's try one more. Working my way over. Let's try one more. For real this time. A little more conviction and not try to be a hero and shoot fast on that one. Put the parts together, that was good. Took 3 attempts to get there. I don't like it when I find myself having, again, weird expectations where it takes multiple failures to get me to realize I'm kind of being immature about things, but.
Well, that's honestly what I was kind of realizing is the nice big open paper is making me want to just blast away. And John, obviously. I mean,
and obviously
standing
John.
there.
Big honking
yeah, big
camera.
old camera. It just makes me want to blast away.
You want to look cool or not?
And it's like, really, we're not.
So he was so close to winning that production nationals so many times. I remember the first limited nationals he won that same week. He had taken second in production nationals earlier that week by 20 points. So he's been close repeatedly. He's gone into day 2 or 3 leading by 50, 60 points and then losing it. So he has definitely wanted it. So he's been very close repeatedly. So I definitely think he was relieved to check the box on production nationals. Not that he'll be done with it, but definitely very happy, very relieved. So definitely a change in mentality, I would say. In previous years, I think he was trying to turn himself into a shooter that he wasn't necessarily. He was always trying to go for consistency based on what other coaches had taught him, which I think would help, because I mean the idea is you could win a nationals by shooting 90% in every stage, but the kicker is you have to shoot 90% in every stage, and that was always a little bit difficult for Mason to maintain. You know, he could do 90, 90, 90, and then all of a sudden there'd be a mistake that would take him back, and then he has a slow time and a mistake. This year he's been kind of going along with the Jacob Hetherington method, where you're not swinging for stage wins, but if there is a risk option that is doable, take the risk, and at worst maybe you're among everyone with the safe option, versus, or if you do pull off the risk, then you're going to have a stage win by a lot. So he's been doing more of that, and honestly I think letting himself free a little bit, not punishing himself for small mistakes, because they will happen in a big match. And I think that's helped him a lot. He's letting himself out of the box a little bit, I think.
I'm Phil Strader. I'm the Vice President of Consumer Affairs at Sig Sauer. And, I shoot competitively still, here and there.
You used to be the former USPSA president.
I did. I was president of the USPSA from 2012 to 2016. Before that, I was the Area 4 director. So, served 6 years on the board and did not run for re-election. I've been very blessed to be in the sport since the early 90s, and I became a pretty good shooter in the late 90s, and have enjoyed shooting amongst the top competitors for the last 25 years. So I've definitely seen a lot of changes in talent, changes in ability, changes in personality, changes in everything. I mean, the whole sport has changed since I started competing, and it's pretty fun to watch. Mason, guys like JJ and Christian, they are able to dominate based on their physical talent. Like, they're very strong, they're very athletic. You can tell they put a lot of time into their physical ability. Mason does not. Not like they do. Now he is. He's actually started working out. He's actually starting to do a lot more physically than he did before. I think his talent comes in a lot of the gun handling and a lot of the small idiosyncrasies that most people forget about. The fine tuning that goes into a stage and goes into maneuvering through a stage. A lot of people, when they'll rely on brute force to get from one position to another, where Mason will rely on a lot of technique, because it's not so much a matter of how fast you get from point A to point B. What matters is the time between the last shot you fired and the first shot you fired in the other position. It's not how fast you get there, it's the distance of time between the shots fired. And Mason relies a lot on his smoothness and his technique to be able to cut that time down. Now that he's getting more physically fit, now he's able to try to take some of that technique and the shooting ability, because he can shoot incredibly well. I mean, hell, he had to shoot one-handed for most of a season. So he's, funny thing, the baby giraffe fell and broke his arm, and he had to shoot one-handed for basically an entire season and through nationals. And he was able to adapt and do that, and that absolutely, I think, helped his shooting. I think it helped him become more patient, because you have to be, because you're shooting one-handed. You can only shoot so fast when the gun is recoiling a certain amount. So I think he's taken that shooting ability, his raw shooting talent, his ability to break down stages and his ability to move in and out of positions better than most. And now that he's getting his speed up and he's starting to focus on a lot of his physical ability and getting himself faster, I think that's gonna turn him into someone who's going to be a force in the range. I mean, he already is, but at this point, if you take Eric Raffel out of the equation, there's always 7 or 8 guys who can win, right? There's always 7 or 8 guys at the top. Mason's always at that top level. But when he starts integrating his shooting ability, his confidence level, his technique, and physical ability, I think that's going to move him up to, he's going to move up to closer to that standalone position to where he can afford to make mistakes. I mean, I've seen him make mistakes in big matches before and still win. And as he gets faster, as he gets better, And as he's able to blow the curve on certain stages where he normally would have just kind of been a little bit better than everyone, if he really hooks up now, he's getting way up there. Like we mentioned Jacob Hetherington, you know, Jacob can blow a curve on the stage more than anyone I've ever seen. And as Mason starts to get up to that level, he'll be able to make either more mistakes or he'll be able to keep at that 85-90% comfort level, which is where Eric Fell operates, which is what, you know, why he stands out as well. So I think he's still got a lot of improving to do on that front, which is terrifying because he's winning a lot.
So when Mason and I first started dating, he worked in the maintenance department for Concord Police Department, and he used to collect coins from these bad Larrys and clean cop cars.
Yeah.
That was...
Spent a lot of time yanking pizza crusts out from under cruisers and fixing these things. The old school parking meters that have the double heads with the tank of money, what I learned through that experience is that they make fantastic wasp homes because you stick your hand in there to de-jam it, and that's when you find the wasps, and that's a really fun experience. This year we've taken the fitness thing a lot more seriously, so we spent a little bit more time in the gym, which has been super productive and given a lot of help from the mental side and of course the physical fitness side. Like everyone's talked about, I was not in particularly good shape, or I was always trim but never super strong, and getting into the gym and getting past that initial joining up and getting acclimated to the workload. Once you stop being sore all the time and just part of the week, immediately noticed lots of differences. Just being more active and being like a little bit better tuned with what your body's telling you. Immediately notice you sleep better, so you wake up feeling more energized. Immediately notice the stability in terms of how you feel in your posture on the range, in terms of the movements and the mechanics is much more solid. The foundation there is much more solid. For the shooter nerds out there, it takes a long time to take the draw, for example. You whip the gun out and you point it at a target, and you might make small adjustments to what your hands are doing on the gun to make it so things happen consistently. Like that idea, but for getting into positions and moving around athletically, it took much less thinking about it and a lot easier to just actually do it, getting in better shape and getting a little bit more in touch with what your body's telling you for me.
So you don't need to have a gym to start, right? You can do this stuff in the field. You can start today, right? You have a set of resistance bands. You could use just a kettlebell. You could use just a dumbbell. Working on things like squats, lateral lunges, reverse lunges, getting up and down off the floor, high knees, things like that. But eventually you're gonna outwork that, right? You're gonna need to step into a facility. You're gonna need to push yourself a little bit further. Maybe hire a coach to push yourself where you don't know you can even go yet.
Mason used to fall a lot, and it's funny. I mean, he's a really tall guy. He's moving pretty quick, but when we started working out, I actually did notice he's falling less, and I think it's just overall he's stronger, he's more coordinated. If he gets himself into a weird position, he can get himself out of it without falling. And overall, I think he is moving quicker and not falling.
But it's, oh, heron. There goes the heron.
Oh, it's sick. We
did great
cross country ski out here, and this will all be frozen, so we can ski out on the little pond. Yeah, it's pretty sick out here.
Sauer Academy one when I went back to shooting for the Academy after that team. Having done this for 12 years and made some of the closest friends I could ever hope to have through this sport, having just incredible mentors and support along the way. It's every time we get to a match of this size or this caliber, even for a nationals. I mean, I get a little emotional just thinking about how much it means to me and how much it would mean to win. I know now after winning some sizable matches that winning an event of this size will not inherently change my life, but it still feels like it would every time. So just the thrill of even being able to be involved is paramount. I mean, I can't think of, we were talking 2 days ago, where, you know, the Powerball, they're dating the video, but the Powerball or whatever was coming around, and Kay's like, oh, we should make sure we buy Powerball tickets. She's like, how awesome would it be if we bought Powerball tickets and won the World Shoot? And I'm like, if that was a would you rather, I might take the World Shoot. You know, if you told me if I had a would you rather, okay, you can win the lottery, or you'll never win a World Shoot, or vice versa. I might still take the World Shoot. Like, it means that much to me.
Yeah.
So it's just a really exciting opportunity. It's hard to not be just be grateful and appreciative to be able to go.
Being ready.
I mean, I'm as ready as I'm going to get. I'm definitely not going to look down the last 2 weeks as far as an opportunity to spend time being conditioned and ready to perform the way that I want to perform. Following this past weekend, I logged like 5 or 6 straight training days in a row, and I'm like, yeah, I'm ready to go. You know, unfortunately, I have to wait another 2 weeks, and the challenge now is just maintaining that same conditioning through to that point. But yeah, I'm absolutely ready to go. Last year was an okay year for me. This year has been better. You know, I'm not gonna lie, coming into a World Shoot year, like we talked about with going to the gym and just being generally ready and taking the job on a professionally seriously, treating it like it's a full-time job, it has made a huge difference. And like the gym gains are just one example where it's, you know, it's not necessarily about being mathematically this much faster. It's just about having the conviction to say, hey, I want to win this match. I'm not pulling any punches about that. I want to go in and win it. And I want to be able to, at the end of the match, whether I win or not, I want to be able to look back and say, was the preparation absolutely everything I had to give? And you want the answer to be yes. Maybe you win, maybe you don't, maybe you lose by 2%. If there's 2% to analyze, I want it to be both 2% because there's something I didn't know that now I know, not because either percent, you know, I did not do enough to prepare. This time around, I feel very prepared.
Ever since next world champ right here, baby. Production world champ.
Till the smoke clears out, am I high? Perhaps I'ma rip this till my bone. Till the